Our top story this afternoon is the final 2 weeks of their campaigning in The Voice. The Prime Minister's in Hobart and he's got another high-profile supporter of the Yes campaign. Let's bring in our political editor, Andrew Clennell, to talk through it. And it's none other than the hero of the Rugby League Grand Final last night, Andrew.
Yeah, it's reasonably handy backing, isn't it? So Nathan Cleary pulled off a miraculous come-from-behind victory last night in the grand final, almost single-handedly doing it with a try assist, a try and a 20-40 kick. And now he's trying to pick the Voice campaign up off the canvas, Kieran. What about that? So this man could do anything. Anthony Albanese, I think he was watching the game last night and he thought the Broncos had it. And then Nathan Cleary snatched it from under their noses. And now he's found himself posting Nathan Cleary. Now, the story behind this, the Sydney Morning Herald's reporter, I've been making some calls to try and find out what's happened. The Yes campaign aren't involved in this. It's come from the Uluru dialogues I've heard. And now the Sydney Morning Herald is quoting the bloke who first posted it before the PM did, a guy called Roy RC from the Central Coast. He went and spoke to several NRL players, clubs, about The Voice. And is quoted here as saying that that Nathan Cleary, in front of the players and staff, this is about 3 weeks ago, said, "What can I do to assist?" He said, "Well, you can make a video saying you support The Voice." And now, after they win the grand final, he's posted it. Timing's everything in politics, they say. Here's Nathan Cleary.
No voice, no choice. Come on, Australia, vote yes.
There you go. You couldn't think of a better man to advertise it. But easier than the AFL, where a lot of fans don't like Collingwood, I think. Nathan Cleary, probably the best player in the NRL, backing the Voice campaign. Well, the Prime Minister was after AFL and NRL backing. He hasn't got it out of the footy finals to the fashion that he wanted to. But it is a similar situation in the polls to the Rugby League game last night. It's about 40-60 at the moment. I think they're about 16 points behind. It's the biggest comeback of all time. That's almost what Anthony Albanese needs in this. I'm not suggesting he's going to get it. I very much doubt that he is. But he was stressing today positivity and the fact that Peter Dutton is all about the negative. The No campaigners, he says, are all about the negative. And you'll see in some of the advertising that's being released at the moment, the Yes campaign has now moved to arguing, well, if you vote no and defeat it, there's no other answer. That's their message at the moment in terms of improving the plight of Indigenous people in this country. Here's Anthony Albanese today.
People have noticed the positive nature of the Yes campaign compared with some of the negativity that is there in the No campaign. I was quite shocked by Anthony Mundine's comments, for example, about fighting someone in the Yes campaign and the fact that Warren Mundine thought that that was okay.
Yeah, so Cleary, you know, for our viewers who don't watch league or might have a sporting analogy that would work, he really is, in my view, the Tom Brady of rugby league. He did that all on his own back last night, Andrew. So obviously you don't want to overstate this, particularly when they're 20 points behind in the polls. But he's a very popular figure, particularly in Western Sydney, Nathan Cleary, only 25 years of age, which I still can't get my head around. But an interesting intervention and maybe what the Prime Minister had been hoping for a bit more of, which hasn't eventuated through those finals.
Might be checking that. I mean, I suppose he's on TikTok and those sorts of forums, which most young people watch these days, but I'll be chucking that in a Yes campaign ad, getting his permission, frankly. Because, you know, they'll need it to go widespread to give themselves any chance of getting a lift from it. Yeah, I mean, they're so up against it. This is a good a positive development for the Yes campaign. Nothing else that they're doing seems to work much.
Exactly. Maybe it's the 40-20 of the grand final last night. Who knows? I don't think so. I'm with you. I think it's very unlikely.
It's a 60-40 at the moment.
Yeah, it's a 60-40, exactly.